This project is a 12,000 square feet oyster habitat restoration project just outside of Turkey Creek. So we are using recycled oyster shells from local restaurant partners collected all throughout Brevard County, and oyster gabions, which is a galvanized steel wire mesh box filled with that recycled oyster shell, and locally sourced coquina rock to build oyster corrals. And these corrals help hold loose shell that oyster larvae will settle on and grow on and create oyster reef habitat.
This is our largest project constructed to date. The modules that are being constructed are 75 feet long and 20 feet wide. These are also the widest modules we've constructed for an oyster project, and it is our project that is furthest from shore. So we are testing lots of different variables here, including distance from shore and the different material types. The University of Central Florida will be monitoring this reef, and if shown successful, this will show us that we can use more natural made materials like the coquina rock and reduce the amount of man-made materials we're using to construct these oyster reefs.
I like to say that oysters are a triple threat. So oysters help to improve water quality in the Indian River Lagoon. They help to remove nutrients through two different ways. They assimilate that nitrogen and phosphorus into their shells as they're growing. So the more oysters we can grow, the more nitrogen and phosphorus is uptaken in their shells as they're growing. And then they also remove nutrients through a special relationship that they have with bacteria that live underneath the reef that goes through a denitrification process. So that bacteria is helping to physically remove nitrogen from the water column, and it will bubble out of the lagoon as nitrogen gas. So it's removing it from the cycle, and if we can reduce the nitrogen and phosphorus in our lagoon, we can improve water clarity and quality. And finally, oysters provide amazing habitat for our local wildlife, including fish and crabs and invertebrates.
In 2014, Brevard County Natural Resources and Brevard Zoo's Restore Our Shores program worked together to do the first oyster restoration project in Brevard County. And in 2017, with the Save Our Indian River Lagoon program, we were able to add additional funds and expand the reef program to stretch throughout Brevard County.
Brevard County is also helping to support many other projects that the Brevard Zoo's Restore Our Shores program is working on with the community, including our oyster and clam gardening programs, where we have volunteers who live along the lagoon that are helping to raise oysters and clams for our restoration projects. And they also help to support our seagrass nurseries. So we have two seagrass nurseries, one down in Melbourne Beach and one up in Rockledge, where we're growing seagrass to plant out in the Indian River Lagoon. Volunteers can visit our website at restoreourshores.org. We always have lots of different opportunities going on to help construct the oyster reef materials or actually get out in the lagoon with us and be hands-on on the projects.
The Restore Our Shores program uses lots of volunteers to help with these projects, and there are many other volunteer groups throughout the county that you can get involved with. If you go to brevardfl.gov/saveourlagoon, you can sign up for our monthly newsletter and hear about all the volunteer opportunities available.